SPO, week 4. You know, the reason I do these psychotic introductions is because I have no idea what to start saying. I mean, I could be like, yo, what's up, guys? It's X here, back at it with another awesome Pokemon video. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe down below. But, like, that is, no. So, I cope with my inability to express that you should hit the like and subscribe button down below by going on a tangent about absolutely nothing. That being said, there are many ways I could open this up. Like, originally I was going to make an RMT of this team and upload that with the video, but I got lazy. And not just lazy, but I just decided it was not worth it to finish it, and here we are, though it was like a couple thousand words in. So this team, I decided to bring into McMeghan because he's a good player, and I really like the innovation of just throwing 6 flying Pokemon on a team. And so I decided that I wanted to bring it against a good player. I didn't really have a reason to bring it into him other than that. Aerodactyl is the lead here because I was talking to ABR about the leads and he suggested leading Aerodactyl, which is something that I as well considered, but I didn't know how I felt about the risk. So, this team lacks a good Tyranitar switch in turn 1. Ice Beam absolutely snipes Flygon, and everything else is really destroyed, so I could lead Flygon, but that just loses momentum. If I lead Zapdos, I have to switch into Tyranitar or stay in, which carries several risks. Going straight to Flygon sucks because of its 4x ice weakness, so I can't safely switch into that, but I can't stay in. I don't want to go Skarmory. Can't go Gengar. So there's really no good option. So because of that, I have to either lead Skarmory, which is fine, but I do not have any way to recover its HP other than doubling and protecting. And yeah, I suppose that is just it, but that's annoying. And also, I have Light Screen on this team. With Light Screen on the team, I do not want to be spiking early on immediately with Skarmory. I'd rather establish the Light Screen, which allows my Skarmory to take a lot less from Magneton, which is a big deal, being able to keep it around longer. Lead Aerodactyl is nice as it chases out Tyranitar, as it should be fearing an adamant choice-banded hidden power fighting. Of course, if he stays in, that is trouble. But ABR convinced me that McMeghan would not stay in. And that is why I'm leading Aerodactyl. It's great at pressuring Zapdos, and it should force out Tyranitar, especially in a situation like this, where it's week 4 of SPO. He might be thinking I'm just trying to snipe a Tyranitar easily. There's no real reason for him to stay in. And if I switch out, I mean, it's likely he's going to switch to a Skarmory or something of that nature, which I can abuse. Or, which can abuse me clicking HP fighting, and if I switch, it's probably a better move than staying in anyways. So with that in mind, it was very unlikely that he would stay in. It's good at forcing out Zapdos, which could be annoying, as I really prioritize my Zapdos against his. I prioritize my Zapdos' health just because of how important it is for walling stuff on the special side. Although, this team does have great synergy with 2 rest users. Normally, rest is really annoying when you don't have Heal Bell. Or, no, that was not the point I was going to make. Basically, Zapdos can be sent out early on. It can be the early on special wall. And with that, it can get up its Light Screen. It can do its thing until eventually I have to rest. And I find no easy path to then wake it up and have it do its job more. But that's perfectly fine, as I can go Articuno, click Heal Bell, and maybe my Articuno's at like 70%, but now I have my Zapdos back, which is awesome. This Gengar set is chosen because of Jirachi. I was considering moves like Spite, Ice Punch, Thunder. I believe I considered Taunt at some point. There are many decent options. But what this does is it tackles Modest Superachi, which in my team is would struggle to beat. And that's also why I have Roar on Zapdos. Not just for Superachi, although that's partially it, but also for Subrachi. My team can play around it without Gengar, but it is very annoying. Overall, the team is solid. It's a bit annoyed by Metagross and Fighters, but nothing that you can't outplay. Although, well, Fighters can be a really, really big pain to outplay. But Metagross is fairly simple, and if you play well, you should not be worried about it. Unless your opponent plays well as well. Obviously, they can create their own advantages, create their own path to win. You're not going to just have a free win when you're facing a good player. So, turn 1, Aerodactyl versus Tyranitar. Here I doubled into Zapdos. You can also double to Skarmory. Doubling to Skarmory is nice as it gets Skarman while not being as risky as Zapdos, and furthermore, it still brings validity to leading Aerodactyl as it helps against Zapdos. I decided to go Zapdos as I want to get at my light screen. It's a bit riskier, but it's fine. So here I click light screen. Potential for a Magneton in the back, not sure. I'm not sure if I go exactly to Skarm, but perhaps. I do. If he doubles to Mag, it's not the end of the world. And it's not like it's likely he has Magneton, it's just not unlikely. Or I suppose you could say that is likely, but it's not like above a 50% chance with these three. So here I send in Skarmory. I just get him my Spike as he focus punches. Here I believe I protect. Smart thing to do. And here I click Toxic. This is interesting as I don't know if he has a Magneton or not at this point. I don't know. And if he does, he would likely switch it in there. With that in mind, perhaps I should have switched out into my Flygon, or maybe, likely Flygon. I could go Gengar, but I'm not a fan of that. However, I stay in going for a Toxic, trying to poison Tyranitar. I think if I were in this situation now, I would decide to play around the Magneton and switch out to Gengar or Flygon. Here he focuses again, and using my Toxic Miss as I am very much so forced to go into Flygon. They focus punch again, and I could go Gar, but not really. Here I Earthquake, and Skarmory comes in. I click Earthquake to recover leftovers, more so than to attack the Tyranitar. Here I go to my Skarm as they establish a Spike, not knowing I have only Spike immunes, and I can Spike there. Here I struggle, and they Toxic, trying to catch a Flygon on the double. They don't know what my team is, and it's very likely that this Flygon it's very likely that I lack Aromatherapy. I'm not Rest Flygon, and if that is the case, I really value my Flygon's HP. So, if I really value my Flygon's HP, then I would want to double it in and pressure him. Also, it would catch me in the mindset of trying to attack the Skarm and really go after it, as predicting him to just continue and set up spikes. I mean, if I had a Blissey or something in the back, I would probably want to not let the Skarmory get off scot-free, as that is an absolute pain, doubling around, taunting, all of that with 3 spikes up, if there is a Blissey in the back. So Toxic can also catch the Zapdos if I were to want to really put the pedal to the metal and threaten him. But I feel no need to do that, so I don't go Zapdos. And with rest, I don't feel the need to urgently go after him. I'd rather urgently pursue the Tyranitar. I'd rather just sit back, protect, heal, Toxically Tar. Here I protect, predicting a taunt. I mean, it's unlikely that he doesn't. And here it's extremely likely that he taunts again. So I protect again, going for the double protect. Maybe forcing him to stay in longer, allowing me to get more leftovers. Or more spikes. Here they go Tar, I just struggle. And here I protect. Now, what am I gonna say? I don't remember. Yeah, I value the Toxic on Tyranitar, whittling it down if Flygon gets crit or he plays really aggressively against it. That's a big deal. It's really bad. So I want to limit its turns. Here I get another spike. This is questionable. I'd probably rather have the Skarmory HP in retrospect. So yeah, I don't really agree with that spike. I should have switched, I think. Especially because of how likely it is that he has a spinner in the back. Now here he doesn't know if I have a ghost. I mean, I've already revealed Aerodactyl. Maybe I don't. And if I had a Pursuit Tyranitar, I wouldn't have really gotten the opportunity to send it in. And if I have a Pursuit Tyranitar, then I don't really need a ghost type, or it would be very preferable, but I wouldn't. So because of this, McMeghan is not sure if I have a ghost type or not, so he decides to just click Rapid Spin. As my switch there might just end up being Zapdos, and he doesn't want to lose momentum thudding into that with a Ice Beam or whatever, having Zapdos apply pressure to his team that is very likely not equipped well to handle it. Or, I mean, it's fine. He has a Celebi, but, could be better. No, I just go Gengar, and I can get off a T-Bolt. Damage Celebi. It's worth noting that my Gengar is faster than Celebi. So here I go Zapdos. That is offensive, I believe. Super B. Here I Light Screen. And here I'm much safer. Here I go to Flygon. I didn't want to reveal Articuno yet, and I wanted to waste Leech Seeds and just PP in general. And it would also deal with a Tyranitar, I suppose. Here they Psychic again. Here I rest. Here I go out into Articuno. I want to Heal Ball this off, which is very good for me. As you can see, I can reset my Zapdos, which is a great special wall, bar the fact that it has to recover. I can reset it with the Articuno, and that's nice. Here he switches to Starmie, knowing that he's threatening to get off a Rapid Spin. Here I go straight to Gengar, no risk. They Ice Beam, which I find interesting. I don't quite understand it. I assume he predicted Zapdos. But, no, I'm not seeing it. I think he should have just surfed. Although perhaps Surf isn't a 2-hit KO on Gengar. So there's that. Well, I guess in a way it's a mid-ground. It hits Zapdos harder while hitting Gengar, as opposed to Rapid Spin, which would be better if I went Zapdos, but it's not like Ice Beam is doing nothing to Gengar. That damage is nice for him, and it also gives him a chance to freeze. So, actually, I suppose it made sense. Here I just T-Bolt. I don't want to deal with anything funky. Fearing Psychic perhaps, which I may live, and hit him back. Here I believe I switch Zapdos out. Light Screen would make sense too. There's ups and downs to it. I just Light Screen, which is nice for protecting Gengar. Here I switch into Flygon, and I take a Focus Punch, and I'm at 14. However, no reason for him to stay in. So here I get to rest, as that's something that you would not count on me having. And here I go into Aerodactyl. What Aerodactyl does is it deals with Tyranitar and Starmie too. But more importantly, if Tyranitar comes in there, he can start throwing off Focus Punches, and that's really bad. Aerodactyl, switching into it instead of one of my special walls, stops that, and it still threatens Celebi. Now, looking at this from his perspective, he probably wouldn't want to risk Tyranitar. In fact, he may be fearing Rest Talk Flygon. Not sure he is, but at the same time, generally players lean to being more conservative and not risking their ways of winning. So, I guess from his perspective, not doubling Tar made sense. And also, I mean, I did go Aerodactyl instead of one of my special walls. Here I'm forcing him out, and he switches to Swampert. Can't go Tyranitar because of HP Bug. He could go into Skarmory. However, I believe he just doesn't want to let my own Skarmory and recover more leftovers. So instead, he goes out to his Swampert. And here I switch into Articuno. I'm looking to double it in and Heal Bell off and get my Flygon back awake. Here I believe he Hydro Pumps to pressure me. No, he goes into Starmie, looking to Rapid Spin. And here I decide to just Ice Beam. If he Rapid Spins as I go Gengar, that's nice for him. And if he Surfs as I go Gengar, that's nice for him. In no way this is a 50-50. I'd imagine Surf guarantees the most. Yes, I believe it does. However, Rapid Spin, of course, if it works, it's the best option. Or I guess Surfing the Gengar would be nice too. So yeah, at the end of the day, this is really just a weighted 50-50, but it's a 50-50. And here I Ice Beam as he Surfs. I wonder what he had as his last. Was it Thunderbolt? Perhaps it was. Yeah, I mean, if he had Thunderbolt though, wouldn't he have clicked it there? I mean, of course, Ice Beam does hit Zapdos. He probably had Thunderbolt. Though it could be something else. What the was that? Anyways, so I go into this thing, and he focuses. Celebi comes out, I just Earthquake. Again, attacking him is what's going to allow me to heal with lefties. Even if I'm confident he'll switch, I don't mind healing. Here I go Arrow. I believe the thought behind this was, instead of protecting, if he was recover, I wanted to not let him recover, which will allow him to apply more pressure later, while also letting him attack me. This limits him to just one of them, although there's always a chance that he doesn't have recover at all. Here I double the Skarmory, predicting his Skarmory, which will allow me to heal more, get up another layer of spikes, etc. Here I protect. He goes straight to Celebi instead of taunting. And here I can get up a spike. I always live this, or maybe it was like a 1 in 16 chance that he KOs, or, well, I guess there's crits too. So maybe 1 in 16 chances. I don't remember exactly. Uh, the spike should be showing, I believe I have 3 at this point. I don't know why that is not showing up. So yeah, I protect as he psychics. Here I go straight to Zapdos, just trying to preserve my Pokemon. I believe going Zapdos was a misplay. Or was it? I mean, yeah, probably. Given what he has in the back. I feel like one of my weaknesses as a player is predicting what players have in the back. I'm not the best at it. I try to just make do with what information I have. Like, I'm decent at gathering information within, like, the lines, but last Pokemon, it's really annoying. I go like, well, do they have a rock resist? Yeah, they have a rock resist. I mean, do they have a Moltres? No. Well, they kind of do. But I think Aerodactyl is really obvious here. In fact, I maybe even considered that myself, but I don't remember exactly. But I wouldn't put it above, below. I wouldn't put it below me to not know that he has an Aerodactyl here. But, I mean, looking at the team, it does seem kind of obvious. Here I go straight to my Zapdos. I just roar as I dodge a leech. And here I can get rid of the Tar. He has a Celebi, which is at Spike's sack range. He also has a Tar at Spike's sack range. Here he switches to Skarmory, looking to preserve 2 Spike sacks instead of 1. Which is a very high level move. Was it the right move? I don't know, but probably. And here he goes Aerodactyl, Rock Slides, and misses. So, he was sub-Pataya. I mean, like, I was definitely favored in this endgame. Absolutely was favored. He had to hit Rock Slides and have an Aerodactyl of my own. So yes, I was absolutely favored in this. Now, how favored was I? I'm not sure. My Flygon is capable of taking on his Aerodactyl, unless it subs a few too many times. So, let's analyze this. So, he sends out Aerodactyl. Let's say this thing dies. I don't remember. Did Gengar eat? No, Calc. Okay. Gengar. I am that spread, or at least mostly that spread. This is completely irrelevant, but during the game, I'm pretty sure my Articuno had 248 HP and 236 special defense. If anyone cares. But I think this is better. Versus an Aerodactyl. With no boost. He's doing 46 to 54. And with a boost, he is doing 69 to 81. My Gengar is at 68%. So, he would always KO with a boost, and he would never KO without a boost. So, I'm able to go straight to Gengar after. And I'm fairly confident I would do this in the game, as it risks literally nothing unless he is a Rock Slide. Unless he is a Rock Slide Swampert, this risks absolutely nothing, going straight to this after. Or perhaps I wouldn't have to do that. Obviously I don't have the pressure of the game and timer on me now, but Gengar pressures him with Thunderbolt. He could not maintain a Salva against Gengar unless he goes for a flinch. So, okay. He has a Swampert, though. So, with Swampert coming in, I'm forced to go Articuno. Let's say he doubles and I feel like I have to switch. Huh. Well, if he loses those... This is a really complicated endgame. I had like a piece of paper for this. Or it's not complicated. I think anyone could really figure this out. It's just, takes a lot of thinking to figure out. So he has an Aerodactyl. Let's say I go straight to Gengar, I click Thunderbolt, and he switches out. Or he substitutes, whichever ends up being more convenient in the long run. But he's not going to sub to Pataya versus Gengar. So he switches out to Swampert or one of his Spike Sacks. No, going into a Spike Sack wouldn't matter. So he switches out to Swampert. And now he's threatening my Gengar. I, of course, do not want to stay in. I have an Articuno, which would take it. However, that would risk it crits. I can also sack something. Let's, for now, say I go straight to Articuno. Or I could click Will-O-Wisp. Will-O-Wisp on debond. Zapdos wouldn't live, though. I do have a Skarmory with Roar. That matters. So let's say I go straight into my Articuno. And I click Rest as he switches to Aerodactyl. Or he doubles to Aerodactyl. Either way, it's like the same to me. This Swampert would take damage. I have a Flygon in the back. So I switch into Flygon. He probably wants to sub. I do not have Rock Slide to break that sub. However, my Flygon super walls his Aerodactyl too. He would need to crit me with a +1, which is favorable for him, but you know, like Flygon super walls that with Protect and Rest. So he does that. He's forced to switch as he can't break me even with the crit without a boost. So he can comfortably bring in that, or he has Spike Sacks as well. So he can get enough subs. However, if he makes the sack as I send to something else, and I do have a Skarmory, which is worth noting, which can worm out. So you'd have to sack everything. But if he goes to sack Pokemon, then I can threaten them with my own. If I double in as he goes to sack something, and I maintain that Gengar, then he is completely screwed. Yeah. And above all of this, he has to hit multiple Rock Slides, and I have an Aerodactyl. But I do believe that he had a fair shot. He would have had to hit Rock Slides, crit Flygon, and he would have had to win a speed tie against my Aerodactyl. Which, it is worth noting that I do have to send out Aerodactyl when he does not have a sub-up, which should not be too challenging. If ever needed, I can always sack my Zapdos or whatever to it as it clicks Rock Slide, and then bring my Aerodactyl when he cannot obtain a sub and do that. Which does make other stuff more complicated. Or I could just go straight into Aerodactyl against his. However, I don't think that it would end up being optimal. So yeah, there's a lot to explore. That's really all I have to say about that. Interesting game. I'm really a fan of this team. It has a few issues, but I mean, I've said this before. I think I've 6-0'd more with this team than I've lost with it. And its bad matchups are not unplayable. I mean, you can look at Rockslide Geogross and look at my team and say that it's really weak to it, but in the end, it really isn't. I mean, you can make a structure with it. I mean, if they have a Pursuit Tyranitar, Agility Gross, Magneton, and they damage my Flygon, I do just lose, but and I don't think they will have that. And if they do, you can't win them all. So, yeah, I really like this team.